Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Don't ask me to talk.
And welcome to another edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your co-hosts and podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacey Heller, and welcome back. Thanks for listening, whether it's on the radio or whatever podcast platform you subscribe to. We appreciate you.
That's right.
So, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just thinking, I feel like we need maybe a little smoother way to get into how our weeks are. Like, maybe we should brainstorm that at some point. Not here on the show, but
although we do some of our best work.
Yeah, that's true.
On the show. I mean, yeah. I think, so how you doing?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Let's put that in the top of the pile so far for intros to get into our lives or the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm doing okay. How you doing?
You got to do it more like Joey, like, how you doing?
I never watched Friends, so I have no idea.
Oh, well, he said, how you doing?
That's a big cultural blind spot that's just going to remain on
Oh, so is this like
forevermore.
Something that you're like, nope.
I was a Seinfeld person.
Yeah, well, that tracks.
Yeah, I didn't need Friends. As I've proven through my life.
That tracks. I didn't really watch either religiously.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a huge fan of both, but I've seen both. So
yeah, I was a big fan of Seinfeld. I think along with The Simpsons in the 90s, it was the best written show. And then some people now are critical of it as like, oh, they were too mean, or they weren't, they were self-centered or whatever. But that was the point of the show.
Right.
That was the idea. They were kind of self-centered jerks, but it's also heightened for comedic sake. So, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be friends with these people.
Right, which is why they had such an insular friend group.
Exactly.
But I really could not stand
George Costanza.
And so much so, and I think I've said this before, so much so that when I see him in other things.
Jason Alexander, the very talented actor who played the role. Yes.
And like he was the bad guy in Pretty Woman, but I'm like, USOB.
Now, it's funny that you that you say this because you watched Annie Hall last week. And that's a Woody Allen movie. And Jason Alexander willingly admits that for the first season, he was basically doing a Woody Allen impression.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So. I mean, and like, here's the deal.
Later on, he found out that it was actually Larry David that the character was based on, and then started aping Larry David a little more.
Totally. And the thing is, like, when I talked about watching Annie Hall, like, I didn't like his character. I thought his character was a jerk, for sure. But I was able to appreciate it. But for some reason, with George Costanza, I was like, ugh. But there's other, like, cultural references, like the, when Elaine worked for the J. Peterson catalog or whatever that was.
Yep.
And I remember getting I remember getting that catalog. And like as a kid, and half of it was illustrated, and it was the most bizarre things, like, here's a coat to wear ostrich hunting.
So like, the stuff they did on the show, probably not as exaggerated as a lot of people think. Like the urban sombrero was one of the things that they came up with. And the problem was that people actually fell asleep with the urban sombrero on because it was too effective.
Right, exactly. I mean, it was the stories that were written in that catalog were just amazing. And so it was actually a perfect thing to be spoofed. But yeah, and then the Friends thing, like, I don't know, during that whole period of time, I don't know what I was watching or whatever it was, but that whole must-see TV thing, I'm like, maybe I'll see it, TV. And so I know enough to know some references, but there are people that watch and rewatch it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, religiously. Same thing with Gilmore Girls.
Well, I own all the DVDs for Seinfeld. I bought all the seasons. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to be on Hulu forever. Or, oh, that we're going to be on Netflix forever. And it's like, now I'm too lazy to like pull out a DVD when I actually want to watch a Seinfeld. It's like just a click, that it's
Right.
like, I would have never thought that like the effort of taking a DVD out and putting it in a machine would be so much that I would go like, I was so excited when I got those.
Of course, 'cause
now
you're
I can watch them over and over. I'm so glad I invested money in this. Yes.
Right? Like, like I'm totally future-proofing and I'll be able to watch this whenever I want in the
Right.
future in perpetuity.
So glad I got this box set with a replica of the puffy shirt, which I literally do own.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding.
Wow.
Yes, it's a miniature puffy shirt that came in the box set for a couple of seasons of Seinfeld.
I love that you have a mini replica of the puffy shirt.
I may
Do
have
you
to-
have it like wrapped up and everything?
No, it comes in like a little case in the box.
Like break in case of emergency.
Right, in case I need to dress a teddy bear in a puffy shirt.
Oh, Gertie. How would Gertie look at it? Too small, probably.
The shirt is way too small for her. Yeah,
Okay.
it could probably fit on her paw. She could do a puppet show.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, Annie was telling me the other day that, it's time for me to start watching Gilmore Girls because I guess she thinks of Gilmore Girls as being a fall show. And so she starts from the beginning and she watches it. And what's funny is I remember actually watching Gilmore Girls back when it was on because I loved like the snappy dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we talked about this last week, actually. When you reflect on it, you're like, that Rory was like a mess. And so was Lorelai. And it may have been funny, but like, turns out they're much more problematic than we thought. Like, it's
Never
just,
watched that show, but I remember at the time, like the buzz about it being like they had really good taste in music
Yeah.
for the show.
Yeah. They did.
So, yeah, maybe I'll have to give it a chance sometime. There's even a podcast called Gilmore Guys that's a watch along for Gilmore Girls. So
Are you
maybe
kidding?
I'll have to go
wait.
from nothing to completely immersed in the Gilmore world. We'll see.
That's correct. So it's a podcast called Gilmore Guys.
Yes,
Okay.
where they rewatch all the Gilmore Girls episodes and then talk about it.
This is amazing.
Yeah, you thought our show was thin on
like-
concept.
That no, I mean that's like the Saved by the Bell people.
Oh, yeah.
Or Boy Meets Pod or something, and it's the people from Boy Meets World
Oh, boy.
that are
Okay, yeah.
unpacking the episodes.
And there's office ladies for the office
right.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is I don't think that the Gilmore guys were involved with the Gilmore Girls at all. They're just fans.
Well, okay, yes, and it's sort of like how I want to do a podcast or a live programming of me watching sports.
I'm sure you're gonna have tons of subscribers to that.
I'm
People that just need to angry up their blood so they can wake up in the morning.
well, and people that are like people like me that are going to laugh at the jokes that I laugh at, or that are going to appreciate me being like, why are they wearing that uniform? I don't understand. That's not home. That's not away. What is this? Like, what do you mean they're doing an old retro thing? Like, just those comments. Or like, look at that guy's like fill in the blank forearms. Wow. Or there's a guy who plays for the Yankees whose name is, and I have to say this really slowly and carefully, Jazz Chisholm. And I got to tell you, It's really hard for me to say it.
Right. Say it fast and you're into a whole different world.
You've now gone into Urban Dictionary.
Yes.
And so as a result, I'm like, oh, Jazz is going around the bases. Jazz is made at home.
Yes.
Jazz is sliding into home.
He's sliding into some jazz chism.
Right. So,
look out.
So, I mean, yeah. Pete's like, oh, man, watching sports with you. Like, I want to spend quality time and have you next to me. And also, go away.
Yes. Time for some alone time.
Time for some alone time. Yeah. So, well, anyway, so now that we've talked about all of that, so how are you?
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. And now as this episode drops, I am actually in Europe at the moment. Hopefully having a good time. I like to think.
In your rat-infested room.
No. Remember, I sprung for the nicer digs.
That's right.
Because I had company with me.
Right.
If it was me solo, I would have been in, Sketchfest.
So at what point are you in the trip right now? What are you doing?
So I would be in Paris, just getting ready to head to London.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
What are the things that you plan to see? Like, what's on the itinerary?
Well, the main thing I'm doing is seeing some shows, some concerts that I wanted to see.
Is the girlfriend going with you?
Yeah, she's going with me to a couple of them, but a couple of them, like, you don't have to go if you don't want to. If you want to go, we can get an early night's rest. By all means, please do, because this may not be your thing. So there's a couple of those.
That's good. Like, does she have anything that she wants to do that you're like, yeah, you can go do that?
I have asked her that many times, and she's just like, I'm along for the ride.
Okay.
I think, honestly, she would rather just sleep than do anything. So, like, me prompting her to do this is a big step.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, but I think she will appreciate it when we go to the Louvre. Last time we were in Paris, we didn't actually make it up the Eiffel Tower because the line was so long, and I had gone up, the first time I went to France. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it wasn't like a big thing. But I feel like once in your life, if you're going to Paris, you need to go up. And same thing with the Louvre. Last time we were there, I misread a guidebook that said, like, they're open from such and such a time every day except Tuesday. And it was like they're open from like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day except Tuesday. So I read that as Tuesday, they've got extended hours. Let's go on Tuesday, because getting there, and mind you, this was jet lag brain.
Of course.
But to me, that read like, okay, so on Tuesdays, they're not open from 10 to 6. They're open from, God knows, could be till 9 o'clock at night. We'll beat the crowds. It turns out they're just closed on Tuesday.
There you go.
So don't go on Tuesday if you're trying to go to the Louvre. So we didn't go. And then, so I'm like, okay, these things are things that I want to do with her. And I think that she will appreciate. And also, I was thinking Versailles.
Oh, yeah,
I went
saw that.
to Versailles as a kid, and it's pretty overwhelming. It's this amazing palace. So I'm thinking, like, it's just a train ride, just a short train ride from Paris. So we should go check out Versailles. So I think we're going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of these things that are like on the Paris greatest hits list that we hadn't made it to last time.
And you'll eat well.
Yeah. Last time, again, I feel like I was just relying on like trying to search Yelp for our area on what's open and what's got some good reviews. But this time I've actually gone and did way more research on, what people are recommending.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that, trying some good French cuisine.
Did you make any like reservations and like at specific spots?
I will by the time
By the
that
time
we're there.
right? By
we'll
the
make
time
some
this
things.
is happening.
Yeah, because I kind of got to know exactly where we're staying, and at this point, I don't have that booked yet. But I'm going to have that booked shortly, and then I'll have more of an idea on like, is this going to be a huge trek to get across to this particular restaurant? You know what I mean? And I feel like I've got such a list now of good restaurants to eat at in Paris that pretty much wherever we're at, I'll just go, okay, that's close to us. We'll go there.
Okay.
So that should be fun.
How are you traveling to England? Are you doing the Channel? Is that what it's called?
We are going from Paris to London, via the Eurostar, which is the train that goes through the Channel.
Okay.
But initially we're flying from Glasgow into Paris. So that, hopefully not taking too many little trips, but basically we're doing like 3 days each place kind of thing. Yeah. So we're going to Bath, in England, which is essentially our first stop. And we're going to Southampton, because there's a show there.
Okay.
But it also looks like a kind of a cool little city. And then we're going to Glasgow for a few days, which is the biggest city in Scotland. And I've been there before and had a great time. So looking forward to going back there. And then from Glasgow, flying to Paris. And then from Paris, taking the train back to London. And then hanging out in London for a couple days before we head back to Reykjavik, which is where we're actually starting the trip. In Reykjavik, Iceland, because Iceland Air has like a thing where you can get a free layover in Iceland. So I'm like, yes, please.
Aren't the Northern Lights good this time of year too?
I have no idea on that, but hopefully we'll get lucky.
I feel like I have a friend that went in the fall, and said that the Aurora Borealis puts on quite a show.
I hope so. There's so much cloud cover in Iceland that I wonder how much you get to see. Now, I know that there's like spectacular pictures and stuff of people that went on, special trips to see the aurora. But when I was there, we had cloudy days every single day. So I don't know how much we'll get. And luckily, I've had the opportunity to witness the Northern Lights when I lived in Alaska. And even down here, we've had some nice displays. So I've seen it. But it is a spectacular thing to see. So hopefully we'll get lucky with that. But I think that'll be a happy surprise if we do.
Yeah. What's weird about taking pictures, at least in my experience, when I've been able to see them here in the Pacific Northwest, when you're looking at them, like you can sort of see that there's stuff going on, but then when you take the picture, that's when you see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the camera does a better job of capturing it than your eyeballs do.
Yep, totally. You suddenly see like what feels like purple and green vapor like lifting from the horizon, and it's so cool. Or going the other way. Guess, whatever. But yeah, the naked eye just can't quite get it.
I mean, when I was in Alaska, you really could, and I think a lot of that is just because less light pollution. So down here, it's tough. You got to get to a place that doesn't have a lot of street lights and stuff, and then B, not have the cloud cover. So it is hard in Washington when we have the aurora showing that, to actually really see it well with the naked eye. But in places where it's a clear sky and you don't have a lot of light pollution, it is pretty vibrant in the sky.
Okay. Follow-up question. When did you live in Alaska?
Oh, let's see, 25 years ago?
For life? For work?
Yeah, for work, yeah.
Really?
That's where I started my radio career.
This feels so northern exposure to me. Wow.
Yeah, I lived in Southeast and Juneau and Ketchikan.
All three?
Well,
like simultaneously?
Southeast Alaska
is the region.
Includes, Juneau and Ketchikan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so tell me about that for a second.
I feel like we talked about this.
I don't remember
this on the show before, but
I have no recollection.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like two pretty cool little cities where I lived. Juneau was the capital, so that was a little bit more vibrant than Ketchikan, which is about half the size. At the time, Juneau was about 30,000 people, and I think Ketchikan was about 17,000 people.
Okay.
But they're big enough where they have like pretty much all the stuff you want, like stores and, all the, stuff that you could want,
Right.
But the culture stuff is lacking, of course. And you do get a little claustrophobic just because you can't like drive out of there. There's no roads leaving town. You have to take a ferry or you have to fly.
Okay.
So it's kind of like living on an island. So yeah, it is an interesting place, but it is beautiful. But during the summertime, you've got daylight
like
till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
or beyond some days. And so that's really cool, but it's also like the winter really extends far into the spring, whereas like here in Washington, when February rolls around, it's like sunshine and lollipops and all the little things. And then, I left here in February when I moved up there expecting that because it was nice already here.
Sure.
And then it was like, here comes the snow.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is probably a one-off kind of thing. But that snow lasted into, like April.
So you really only have like 2 seasons, like snow.
Pretty much.
And no snow and light.
Yes. But the summers are beautiful and they're quite comfortable, even though it's not hot. In Southeast, it's like very tops out about 70 degrees, but that still feels nice,
Yeah, well, because sun does lots for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's just like when you're in May and it's still cold and there's still snow on the ground and it's just like, okay, I could do with a little more sunshine and a little more warmth. That'd be great right about now. And then you can't like go, well, I'll go on a road trip,
Right.
So
interesting. How long were you there for?
I was there for about 2.5 years total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Look at that. We learned something new about you.
Good times.
Yeah. That's so interesting. All right. Well, we probably need to take a break.
We do.
So let's do it. And when we come back, we'll talk about cultural blind spots.
Yeah, I think we got a couple.
Yeah, we do. Of course we do. We
All
have
right.
a lot.
Everybody stay tuned for more Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm Stacey Heller. I'm the other one, and apparently I have a frog in my throat. There we go.
Hi-ho.
Hi-ho. This is Kermit the Frog here. So, hey.
Yes.
I have different cultural blind spots this time.
And so do I.
Oh?
Yeah, we haven't teamed up on one since the Godfather trilogy. I feel like we're due for another one at some point, but maybe when we're both done traveling the world, we'll come back and figure out what we need to tackle next. Like, have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen it. So that's one that's on my
Really?
list that I think.
Okay.
And I already know that I feel like maybe this was not like the best movie, but it was a huge movie. So I feel like I got to see it just so I can kind of feel like I get the,
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, even though it's not. There's lots of stuff like
it's
that.
Nuts.
But yeah, very good.
Thank you. Wow, I can't believe you haven't seen that.
Right? So that's another one that's on the list, but we'll figure out something that we also both haven't tackled before and kind of bounce off each other at some point.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, would you like to share?
Yeah. This week, I actually, last week we kind of made reference to The Office as one of the places that we could potentially live in if we lived in a TV show. Like, what would that world be like to visit for, 2 weeks or whatever?
Yep.
And now, oddly enough, there's a new spinoff of The Office that has just debuted in the last couple weeks on Peacock.
Oh.
And I've been I really liked The Office as a show. I enjoyed that quite a bit. So I've been kind of like skeptical of them doing anything else with it. And I've been a little bit weary, like, oh, I don't know. Do we need this? And is this going to kind of,
muddy the waters
and make it not as, fun for me?
People felt
I don't
that
know.
way about the OG, like the UK version of The Office as it is.
Absolutely.
So now it's like watered down that much more.
Well, also, so this the show is called The Paper, and it is set in a newspaper in Toledo, Ohio, rather than Scranton, Pennsylvania,
and it's,
where the paper company.
Right, so it's paper versus newspaper now.
Right.
Okay.
So it's different. So I was just like, well, why don't they just make this its own thing? But I got to say, I watched the first episode, and it's very good, actually. It's very fun.
Really?
And it does it continues the show in a very clever way, because the initial premise of The Office is that a documentary crew films workers in a paper corporation office, a local branch in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And it gets into like all their lives and stuff like that. So rather than like this being like, oh, what are they doing now kind of thing, which I'm sure maybe they'll eventually get into, because they retain one of the characters from that show who now works at this newspaper, Oscar, one of the accountants. But basically the idea was they came back 20 years later to follow up with the Dunder Mifflin employees. And that company no longer exists. It was bought out by another paper company. And this paper company in Toledo, Ohio, that they go to, see, well, is there any like remnants of the Dunder Mifflin people there? It's this paper company. It makes like toilet paper. They make all kinds of like paper products. And one of those paper products is just the local newspaper for Toledo, the Toledo Truth Teller. But it's one of these like kind of junk papers that gets more money from its online advertising.
Okay.
And all their headlines are clickbait and stuff like that. So it's really fallen off from where it once was. And they even incorporated a fake documentary from about the newspaper in its glory days into the show, like to just kind of give you a little bit of contrast between, the newspaper in its heyday, like in the 50s and now. And I think it's really clever. And Donald Gleason stars in it.
Okay.
And he's really good. And this first episode, I feel like it's like a real balancing act. And so it kind of leans on setting up the show more than it does on like laugh out loud jokes.
Okay.
But there was just enough in it, just enough of a kernel of this being funny and enjoyable for me to go, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those next few episodes. And if they're maybe even a little bit funnier, I'll really be sold on this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I'd say it's worth a try.
I think Oscar, his name is Oscar Nunez.
Yep.
And
yeah, he's the actor.
Speaking of Alaska, like he had quite the role in The Proposal, the Sandra Bullock, Ryan Reynolds movie.
Is that set in Alaska?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
He goes home to his place and she's like, oh my gosh, you're the Kennedy of like Alaska. And he plays the like bartender, minister, stripper. Like he is like everything to everyone, and it's a hysterical, like, he's just amazing. And then in the closing credits, like, he does a whole bit, and they're asking him questions, and he's like, God bless America. Like, it's just this whole thing, and he's fantastic. So what a fun character to follow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that he in the show is like, I don't give you my permission to be in this. Didn't you people get enough when you filmed it? So originally it's like, and so he spends he's like, I'm going to ruin every take now. And then he's like, just like swearing up a storm. This is unusable. And he's like, I'm not signing anything. And they're like, and they put up a little note that says, there was no end date on the agreement he signed before, so we can do what we want.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, I'm going to have to watch this.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot.
Okay, and is it one of these, like...
Especially if you like The Office before, but I think it would stand on its own,
Yeah,
too.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's fun. I love that. Meanwhile, do you have any others?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, trying to get in the mood again for going to the UK. I've been watching old episodes of Top of the Pops
my gosh.
on YouTube, which is a lot of fun.
It's like American Bandstand, but UK.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, where groups come and they mime along to they lip sync essentially to their records. And there's rare cases where groups actually did sing live, and usually it backfired because the BBC for this particular show was not set up for live performances. Okay. So a lot of things could go wrong when bands played live. And like there's a number of cases that I've heard about of bands like going live because they wanted their integrity.
Right. I can sing.
Yeah, exactly. And then it totally backfired on them. So the majority of it is groups just, lip syncing. And it could be kind of fun, actually. There's some great performances on there. And I like it because a lot of stuff is just complete dross, but it's interesting dross to me that it's like, this was a hit. This is insane because it's something I'd never heard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, because we've got stuff that it's like if you look back that was a hit and you're going, I can't believe this piece of crud was a hit, but it was. So you expect the whole world agreed on this. Well, no.
Yeah.
In different countries, they have their own crud that they agreed on for that week. And so it's interesting. You'll see just weird stuff that was somehow the last one I watched was a medley of Bee Gees songs by a group called Hitmakers or whatever. And it was just they played a medley of Bee Gees songs, but they weren't the Bee Gees.
That's funny. That's
but this sold enough to get them on Top of the Pops.
This is like David Hasselhoff being huge in Germany.
Yeah.
The weird, okay.
The juxtaposition of it. It's just oh, okay, sure.
What a weird thing that it was a Bee Gees cover band.
Yeah, but they also do other hits by other artists, popular hits of the day. But, they do it much cheaper because they're not the famous people. So they can make up 50 of these albums a year.
I feel like this is like Kids Bop.
Yeah, it's essentially if Kids Bop actually made the charts. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So there's weird stuff like that. And there's enough of it that it just makes me, kind of laugh and entertains me. I can't believe that was a hit. Or others, sometimes there'll be songs by artists like Madonna or whatever, where they have a hit in the UK, but it wasn't a hit over here. It wasn't even released as a single.
Sure.
Or vice versa. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But the thing is that the hosts that they had for this show are some of the deeply weirdest people I've ever seen on TV. And I just think, how did they ever get these people to agree to put them on TV?
Were they TV presenters?
No,
were they DJs?
I think sometimes they're radio DJs, sometimes they're TV presenters.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of them are because they're just trying to do jokes and comedy bits, but they've got no material. So it's just really really hacky, really bad stuff. But all that stuff lasts like 20 seconds and then they're bam into another musical performance. So it keeps moving and it's entertaining. I don't know. I may be the only person that finds this fun, but
I don't know. I think it's first of all, I know for sure one other person that's totally into it, although she is from the UK.
Right. And it can't be overstated how big Top of the Pops was in the UK, far outstripping the popularity of, say, American Bandstand in this country. This was something that everybody tuned into on a Friday night to see.
And this feels like it's like the television version of Casey Kasem, doing the top 10. Right. Yeah. So it's like the UK.
They would give you the top 30, and then they would select certain artists. They always had to be rising in the charts that week to appear on the show.
Okay.
But they could be totally random. I mean, so you've got like a weird novelty country record, and then you've got like a punk band, and then you've got, like an old school balladeer. Like their charts were crazy, like so much more mixed up in genres than ours were.
So random.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
It's kind of fun. Yeah.
And what a time capsule.
Yeah. That's the other part that I love about it is seeing the wild like 80s fashions and 70s fashions and stuff.
When did the show go off the air?
It ended in the late 90s, I believe.
Oh, end of an era.
Yeah. Or no, I think it made it into the early noughties. Okay. But then disappeared. So, but it may be due for a revival. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, what started a trend?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've come up with gibbets for sleeves and and other ideas. Surely we can start a trend of bringing back Top of the Pops.
And a few of these episodes, they tried a failed experiment of bringing Top of the Pops to the U.S., so they let's cut to our USA presenters. And they have this guy in New York that's got the biggest glasses I've ever seen. And I don't know how he doesn't have wipers on him because they're so huge. And he looks like he's been tanning. He's like, I'm in America now, baby. I've got to do like the Americans and go to a tanning salon so I look fabulous and American. And he's just huge glasses and 70s style clothes, even though it's the 80s with huge lapels.
Collar. Yeah.
It's wow. It's really funny, the culture shock stuff.
I'm going to have to, in honor of your trip, I'm going to have to check this out.
I think you'll get some good solid laughs out of it.
That's really funny. I love that. Okay. The time capsule thing is
yeah, that's what I love about it. It's just a beautiful little time capsule for any week of the of the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
I feel like people have posted up so many episodes on this. You could spend decades going into this.
Well, and you watch stuff from the UK, you watch Graham Norton, right? And what they're allowed to say and do is so different than what you can say and do in the US.
Yeah. This was pretty much family hour stuff, so it's greatly toned down, but there's still some racy stuff. For instance, if a group didn't want to come on a show, they had a group of dancers called Legs and Company that would come out and just do a dance to whatever the song was.
Okay.
And sometimes it's
Solid Gold Dancers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all these ideas that we were doing over here in a different format. They were already doing on Top of the Pops. So, they're remember Paul Hardcastle's 19, when that was a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Later they got Paul Hardcastle to do the theme song for Top of the Pops.
Okay.
But there was a week where he didn't perform, and probably because he's well, what am I just going to stand there with a keyboard? Later he did that, but there was a week where that song was so big that they're just well, let's get out Legs and go. And so they're dancing to, in Vietnam, the average age of the combat soldier was 19.
Oh
19. And they're in their skimpy outfits trying to do the Vietnam dance. And it's wow, this is wild stuff.
That's funny. Sure, we can dance to this. No problem.
And the stuff where like you've got like a British singer trying to do like a Japanese song. Where's my Japanese boy? And it's just so on the edge of
of being a little
yes.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Yep. And they've got the dancers with the like spinning parasols and stuff that it's just like, wow, this did not age well, but I am loving every second of this.
That's amazing.
Yes.
All right.
It's fun stuff.
I'm going to have to, for my travels, maybe I'll download a couple episodes and I'll chuckle myself to sleep on the plane.
Well, if they've got Wi-Fi, you can definitely watch them on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But anyway, before we run out of time for this segment, how about you? What did you check off your list or dive into that you hadn't before?
I went to Applebee's.
Applebee's. Okay, this is taking this in a whole different direction.
Yep.
But I love it.
It's a cultural blind spot.
Eating good in the neighborhood is the slogan.
I was eating fine in Factoria.
I call it Crapplebee's personally because I don't like Applebee's food. I think it's actively bad. I'm sorry, Applebee's. If you want, I will totally reverse this opinion if you want to sponsor the show. But as of right now, when you're not paying me,
yeah,
I just think, and maybe they've improved because it's been a long, long time since I've been to Applebee's. But yeah, not your thing.
No, not really. I mean, and it's in that genre of like Olive Garden,
chain restaurants,
Red Robin, like Chili's, all those kinds of things. You know, first, like we had an appetizer and it was like the pretzels.
Yeah. And I can appreciate some of this food sometimes. I'll admit this. Last time, now it's been a long time, but last time I went to Olive Garden, I had a good time. I thought the food was pretty decent. Everybody makes fun of it. It's kind of like like a punching bag, like Arby's, where everybody makes fun of it. But last time I was at Arby's, I thought this is, for what it is, pretty decent. And same thing with Olive Garden. So I don't know why those particular two get so much hate. But like Applebee's is one where it's just like, I feel like, why does this get so much love?
Right.
Because there definitely do seem to be people that are hardcore stans of Applebee's, which I don't get. But
I don't know, man. Yeah. Like we got the pretzel sticks as an appetizer and the waiter dropped them off, and it's like, the oval plate.
Now, was this just date night, or were you?
No, I met a friend.
Just convenient for the meeting with a friend. Okay,
yep.
Yeah.
And it was like equidistance, and it was easy. And so he dropped off this plate of pretzel sticks, and I was like, "Wow, those are studly." Like they were just these big, thick sticks. Like, I just...
What are you saying? Studly makes me think that perhaps they were a little phallic?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And the server looked at me and was like, I will never forget this moment. And I was like, I'm sorry, but like, it was...
That's funny, though, because that's the kind of thing that can make an average meal experience feel a little more fun if the staff is in on the joke.
Yes.
And it is like knows that, hey, this isn't the best quality stuff,
right.
But hey, it's serving a purpose.
It's a job, like whatever. Yeah. So he definitely chuckled about that one. And then I followed up with a salad. Why does anybody ever order a salad from places like this?
I don't know.
I don't know why I did. I think it's because I was like, oh, I'm having a carb-heavy appetizer. And so, like, I'll just get the Southwest chicken salad.
It's full of, like, in my memory, it's full of, like, tortilla chips and stuff like that.
It's still just a carb thing on iceberg
You're
lettuce.
getting nachos with some lettuce in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is, again, less eating good in the neighborhood and more eating fine, in this case, in Factoria.
Right.
And
fair enough.
I was just like, but the fact that I had never been.
Yeah.
And like, I think they definitely have a big like happy hour and drinking crowd.
Right.
Because it felt like there was a lot of like gimmicky cocktails and things like that. And, I was not taking advantage of all of that.
It's like, I've never been to a Waffle House, but I feel like if I'm in an area where there's a Waffle House, at some point, I'm going to have to try Waffle House just because it's one of those things, one of those places that is so like storied in song and history.
Well, the stories of like the fights that break out at the Waffle House.
Exactly. Like, at some point I'll have to try Waffle House, but I don't expect it to be particularly amazing. But it's a part of our culture.
Right. So like you're kind of talking about music a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. Hold on a second.
And why don't we just take a quick break? We'll come back. We'll finish this thought. So everybody stay with us. We'll be right back with more. Don't Ask Me to Talk. Well, Stacey has a drink of water. Stay tuned. This is Eric Ryder reminding you to follow us on Facebook. We're at Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we're on Instagram, again, at Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'd love to hear from you, so check us out on social media and leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Remember, you can always email us directly at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com or leave us a voicemail or text at 475-999-2726. That's 475-999-2726. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk, and don't ask me to live in Stacey's case, because I thought you were going to pass away there.
All of a sudden, I was
last second you were choking, and you're okay.
I am fine.
It's like the gods of Applebee's like striking us down,
right?
for besmirching their quality
Come
cuisine.
on, I called your pretzel sticks Studley. That's
Yes.
complimentary. Apparently, they think that size matters.
So you survived this. You survived the meal.
I'm fine. Everything
Yes.
is fine.
Yeah.
So I kind of love the idea, though, that what I was saying before I almost died is cultural blind spots are not just things that we.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, this counts as a cultural blind spot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So anyway.
But this part of the show is where we talk about our topic that the Wheel of Topics has selected for us. And last week it took a couple tries, but we finally got to wash dishes before ... And then you explained that's before putting them in the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's more to this that you want to flesh out before we actually dive into this, because I think the official line is just scrape the dishes, don't wash them. But what were you thinking before you or when you came up with this idea for
So
the
I
topic?
didn't know how to what to call this, divisive topics for household things. This is like those debates that, which way does the toilet paper go?
Yeah.
Do you scrape the dishes or do you just wash them first? Also, how do you load the dishwasher?
Right, that's a big thing.
How do you put your utensils in the drawer? Random things like that. Do you cut your sandwich so that it's 2 rectangles or 2 triangles? These are things I think that...
Yeah, they're dumb things that people argue about all the time that don't add up to a hill of beans ultimately. But people can sometimes get really stuck on them and then start believing that I can't live with this person. They're insane.
Right.
Yeah, they're assigning so much value to dumb arguments that are essentially meaningless. So let's get into it. Let's have these dumb arguments.
I love this. Okay, so right off the bat, it sounds like you're a scrape the dish and throw it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to clear off any food from it and then put it in the dishwasher. That's what the dishwasher manufacturers recommend. Now, in some dishwashers' case, I know I had a bad dishwasher for a long time. That was not good enough to get the dishes clean. Mm-hmm. Now I've got a good dishwasher, and it is absolutely good enough to get the dishes clean. And you're not wasting a bunch of water because you're just getting off large food debris so that it's not clogging up your filter. And it cleans the dishes, and it does great. And so that's what I do. But beforehand, I was probably on the let's give these a little more rinsing. And the dishwasher is a glorified drying rack kind of thing because that dishwasher sucked.
Right.
But yeah, now and if you've got a dishwasher that sucks, you don't have to live like that. Upgrade. I spent way too long living like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't
and they're
worth
not
it.
that expensive.
No.
Like, yeah. So I've come a long way.
Yeah.
Because I was raised with you wash it like fully before you put it in.
Mm.
And so that has had a long time holdover effect on how I do things. Now, because the dishwashing people and installers and whatever are like, no, use the darn dishwasher. So I still definitely scrape the food, but I will give it like a quick rinse to get off the biggest chunks and put it in. So the fact that I'm not putting a like, you could eat off this plate into the dishwasher is huge progress for me.
Good.
So I'm getting
But is this something you argue with Pete about?
He absolutely just throws all the plates in, and he throws them in akimbo so that they're all over the place. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. The tall plates go in the back to the shorter plates, glasses to the left, because we have actually a double-decker dishwasher. And so it's not like the glasses are on the top and the plates are on the bottom. They're sort of all together. And like bowls and stuff can go to the side. Like, what are you doing, man? And
so it's more about the loading than it is how you prep the dishes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And he's like, as long as it can access all the surfaces, it's fine. It's fair game. And I'm like, So what about you when it comes to the loading?
Yeah, I mean, I think me and the girlfriend both have different loading styles. And I'll be like, what the hell? When I look in the dishwasher sometimes, like, wow, this isn't right. And then, but, I never go to her and say, that's not how you load a dishwasher. I just go later and put it in. Usually I'm like, you can fit way more in here if you just move stuff around. So that's what I do, and then finish loading it and then run it. You know what I mean? But if she's running it by herself, I don't care, as long as they're coming, as long as clean dishes are getting put in the dishwasher, or not in the dishwasher, but in the cabinets.
Yeah.
When they're done, totally fine. I'm past the point of like having too much. I admit that when I see it, I go, how can you do this? But I let that go because who cares, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
somebody's kind enough to actually do this chore, so I don't have to do it. More power to them.
Yeah, I get it. And I mean, here's the thing: like,
she has put away dirty dishes before, especially when we had the bad dishwasher, and I think,
seriously?
Are you not even looking what you're doing?
Yeah, I am.
Anyway.
I hear you. Well, and I like start organized. Like I have, certain sections where I put things and just out of habit. But then I absolutely will do like the tuck where, like, oh, I can put this bowl here and I can shove this here. And so then it's sort of just like a fitting thing. But I also, like, I don't know, maybe back in my day, the dishwashers weren't great. And so I always felt like you couldn't put plates too close together because then the water couldn't access and it didn't really clean the plates very well.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you upgrade, it's much better.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So we're generally in agreement on that one. Okay. Toilet paper. Does the paper come down over the top or from below?
Personally, I think I prefer from below. But honestly, I don't care. Again, for me, it's like somebody took the time to hang up the toilet paper, so I am not like sitting on the toilet with no toilet paper in a bad situation where I gotta kind of hobble over to the cabinet or worse, then I am happy.
Yeah. Do you change it though? Like if you're, I don't know, sitting there doing your business.
I'm not that OCD about it.
Okay.
Because it's like ultimately you can access the toilet paper. It comes off either way. Who cares? But again, this is something people argue about and fight about. You're right there. But I don't understand.
Yeah. And I'm from the top because I like how it looks better aesthetically. And I also feel like I can get it better because when I pull from the bottom, I feel like it's not giving me enough squares. Like it's
I think the opposite.
okay.
But-
Well, and you know what?
But that's why we have our personal preferences on it.
Exactly.
But again, I'm to the point where I don't even like notice what side I'm putting it on when I put it on now. It's like, cause I care that little about it. And in my case, I think luckily my partner also doesn't care. So I think we're okay.
All right, so that's good.
But I know there's been people that are like pulling out the patent of toilet paper to prove that their opinion is right in this. And it's like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to end a marriage or a relationship
Yep.
over this.
Yep.
Okay, next, utensil organization in the drawer. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
do you go, like, the way that I have it is big forks, small forks, big spoons, small spoons, knives.
You would go insane looking at our
Oh,
drawer.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like we've got our utensil holder has like 2 big slots on either side and then some smaller slots in between. So we've got like knives, like butter knives and stuff on one side, and on the other side is like various utensils and stuff that aren't like
Like the
place
serving type
settings.
pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got like forks and spoons and stuff in between. And I used to try and stack those neatly, but now it's just like they're in a pile in their slot, and that's gonna have to do.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like a way to do it. And then like in the front, I have little like, container where I have like small spoons. Like I've talked on this show about my whole empty nesting thing and all my
Yeah.
little tasting spoons. I have a whole section for those and a whole section for like little condiment knives and forks and all this kind of stuff. So I definitely seem to have a little OCD there.
Yeah, you would
Good,
think
good.
ours was chaos in comparison, but
Okay.
live and let live.
Um,
And we've only got a couple minutes here, so let's try and lightning round a couple more.
all right. Cut your sandwich into rectangles or triangles.
I typically do rectangles, I think, but every time someone gives me the triangle one, I think, ooh, how fancy.
Right?
So I could definitely see making a case for that. But personally, I because I don't even think about it when I slice a sandwich, I find that I'm typically doing the rectangles.
Yeah. I love myself a triangle. I feel like it's much more visually appealing. Okay. Last one. Which do you do first? Wash your hair or wash your body?
Wow. I guess body.
Okay.
How about you?
Hair.
Okay. But that's not what you can really argue about because it's just you.
Well, yeah, but like everybody does things differently. It's just interesting.
They absolutely do. Yeah.
All right. So that was exciting. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. What do you do that is like you're militant about it?
Are you
or
cutting sandwiches in the shower?
so soggy? All right. What are we talking about?
Next week, time to start haul.
Time to start haul?
That's what it says. Maybe it's time to start holiday decorating.
Yes. Yep, that's exactly what it is. I
Okay.
was thinking it was HAUL. Yes. When do you start your holiday decorating?
Okay, we'll find out.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening. We love you.